period of several weeks last year, the CBC exposed the abuse and discrimination at the core of the federal government's Temporary Foreign Workers Program. It revealed a program that was out of control and full of abuses. And it described a program that discriminated against Canadians when it came getting a job for which they were qualified. The CBC's coverage was led by senior reporter Kathy Tomlinson and coordinated by producer Raj Ahluwalia. It revealed the abuse suffered by high-tech workers employed by, among others, RBC, and its focus then spread to other areas of the country and other sectors of the economy. Most notably, they identified the fast food sector and its search for a cheaper source of labor by importing workers rather than hiring and training Canadians. The special CBC series was not only highlighted on the national, their reports also appeared on all platforms of the CBC, television, radio, and online. Its impact was quite remarkable. It created an uproar and debate across the country, as well as in the House of Commons, and most significantly, it forced the Harper government to bow to public pressure and modify the program. The reforms have made it more difficult for employers to bring in low-paid workers from abroad to fill jobs, and as a result, more Canadians are having an opportunity to compete fairly for these jobs. Like so many of the entries for this year's Canadian Hillman Prize, this CBC series is an important reminder of what's powerful about today's news media in Canada. High-quality journalism still does matter, and it is thriving in this country. These special journalistic initiatives are coming at a time when resources are stretched, when the excuses to do nothing are plentiful, and when governments these days at all levels, self-serving at the core, seem intensely determined to shut the public out. But in spite of all of this, this journalism is having a dramatic impact on the quality of our lives, and for this we should be thankful. It is my privilege, on behalf of the Sidney Hillman Foundation, to thank CBC News, specifically Kathy Tomlinson, Raj Ahluwalia, and the entire CBC team for this groundbreaking series. Please let me invite Raj to accept this honor.
Our reporting started in April of 2013 with a tip from RBC, and one story led to another, and it wasn't just RBC, but other banks and institutions were abusing the program. And in some cases, not just the program, but taking advantage of the workers themselves. And the very people who had come to Canada on the promise and hope of a better life and opportunity. And then a few months later, we received a tip from a woman named Kaylin Christ. She was an employee of McDonald's, and that took the story in a whole entirely different direction. She told us about Canadians who were having their hours cut back, some cases being shut out of jobs entirely at some McDonald's franchises because of temporary foreign workers. And that's when the federal government started to talk about a crackdown. They started to pay attention. The employees, the abuses started to come in greater numbers from numerous companies in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario. And this time the allegations in some ways were even a bit more troubling. People spoke about being treated like slaves, having their pay docked for rent at corporate living quarters. And then came the thing that tipped the story in a direction where the government had to act. It was a leaked phone call that we received from the CEO of McDonald's Canada. And he talked about doing an internal investigation to basically preempt the company being put on a blacklist of abusers of the Temporary Foreign Workers Program. And in the phone call, the CEO said the minister responsible for this, Jason Kenney, was on side. And that, of course, set off alarm bells with the government. and it didn't take that long for Jason Kenney to, announce the sweeping reforms for the entire program. And in so doing, it was gratifying, surprising, but gratifying, that he cited the CBC's coverage, our coverage, in forcing him to do it. It sparked a national debate about the kind of society that Canadians want. Like, do we want people, not just Canadians, but people from anywhere who come here, to be treated fairly? Most people would say yes. Or do we not care about that because we want our coffee and our donuts to be cheap and companies and their CEOs to make grossly large profits at the expense of these workers? And these are, I would say, important questions with profound implications. Now, naturally, given the companies involved and the people involved and the stories, that there was some criticism and controversy about our coverage, some from the business press and its commentators, which was predictable, and some from within the CBC itself, which was surprising. I'm sure you've heard about some of that. Throughout it all, Kathy remained true to her and ours journalistic principles, the principles we espouse and strive. She kept going. She kept digging through leads, never giving up. In short, she did what we all should be doing more of. She is one of the most principled journalists I know. And that brings me to Sidney Hillman. From all accounts that I've read, he was a fiercely principled person. And I know I speak for Kathy when I say that I'm proud that the foundation established in his name has chosen to honor our work. Thank you.